Hi guys, good afternoon from Europe, good morning, good evening, whatever you are. Piotr here. It's Sunday, Light Forex Global YouTube channel, and we are going to check what may happen overall in April, overall in Q2 when it comes to US dollar. So we are starting a little bit of the series. This is a part number 1, and we are going to go through euro dollar cable and dollar yen from the higher time frame perspective. I would like to share with you the old video which is helping me to get the energy, the old good days when I've been able to go outside to record the waves when it comes to the sea, right? But it's old, right? Old video right now, spending time at home, staying home, trying to be safe. That's something you should do as well. So it's a time to go through a few charts from higher time frame perspective. So there you go. We are going to start with euro dollar. All right, that's the monthly chart. What's the important thing during the March, right? We've seen some actions, right, especially after the Fed rate cut, emergency meetings. We saw the spike on euro dollar, which hit the levels we discussed it previously, right, that's gonna be quite important, the latest demand zone, and since then we see continuation to the downside. Now when it comes to the volatility we've seen on March, so we have to clearly say that there might be, around the bottom of the March, there might be some price action with attempt to defend these levels, right? So when it comes to the monthly chart, cannot rule it out that if we are going to see again the March low, and then if we are going to see the low from April 2017, 0570, that could be something where the guys at the bulls will try to defend. So let's put for yourself, let's put, because it's a monthly, so it's a red color, let's put those two red lines on the chart here, and the April 2017 low, right? Then there is another, based on the monthly chart, another level which has not been tested. I'm talking about that low over here, right? And in that case we are talking about the March 2015 low, and it was 462, all right? So that's another 462, and that can create, that low can create possible over under when it comes to the overall latest low on euro dollar, right? Okay, and the last one in my opinion to the downside, it could be what we have here, unfinished business, all right? Like we are talking about the swing low. So in that case, we are talking about the December 2016 low, 0352. 0352 over here. So what we have? We have the March low to the downside. We have then 0567. We then have 0464 and 0352 to the downside, all right? I'm going to tell you about the bigger picture in a second. Now to the upside, of course, the March high, all right, which is somewhere very close to this. We discussed latest broken demand now works as a supply, been tested a few times, as you can see here, here, right? So then $115.80, all right. Then the low from December 2000, the high from the December, sorry, the low from December 2017, 1716, right? And two more, in my opinion, we are talking about the levels close to 1880 and 21 with 2150. So we have upside, we have the downside when it comes to the euro dollar, all right? But let's have a look something from the bigger perspective. From the monthly chart perspective, taking into the consideration connecting some highs based on the rising candles, we do have very nice falling trend line, or if you wish, we have some downward channel, right? Okay, so my bias, my core scenario is euro lower, right? Of course, it's a monthly chart, so it's not gonna be provided to the point. But the thing is that once we are going, because what happened lately, we got back into that old zone, right? So meaning that breakout to the upside here, that was the failure. That was the failure, right? So we also failed at the mid of that range we are trying to hold, and last week finally we are going again lower. So based on that, I think that if situation is not gonna to change, we are about, my target previously was 92, right? But looks like we might retest 85 as well, bottom of that channel. Now, I'm going to think if there are any changes on a move back above something between 115 and 117 from the higher time frame perspective. Okay, so as of now, the major supply I do expect is around March high, and that's what we are going to see, right? Going to lower, lower, lower. There are some levels where we might see attempt to hold euro dollar, but overall bias is to the downside, parity, and the levels well beyond and below, right? Weekly chart. Weekly chart. So the post-French election gap been closed, bounce, and we are going back right here, right now. I think that it's not gonna be the wave we've seen here, this wave here, right? I think we are going to at least double that one. If that's gonna be the case, we are going to move towards 98. Slowly, it might be the same way as we've seen here, but I think we are going to speed up a bit, and it's gonna to be like 45 degrees. So I'm from the medium-term perspective, I'm looking to sell based on this weekly chart, somewhere in between previous week high and what we've seen post Fed emergency meeting. So well, if we are going to see retest of 115, that's where the main supply, I think, right? But the first one, from the medium term perspective, levels above 112, right? So that's how I see the things when it comes to the euro dollar. Now let's switch to the cable. Let's have a look what we have here from the monthly chart perspective. Okay, let's go. Now, we've seen the huge move to the downside on the cable in March, right? But it was very, very aggressive. And now, with this low in place and the monthly close above 120, well, the thing is that I do expect some buyers to try to step in and hold 120, right? But I think it might be some kind of on the invitation for the sellers. Of course, we might see some bounce from 120. So let's place that. Let's place red line somewhere here and here, right? So some kind of the over under here, here, and eventually here could be in place, right? Still we have like 2.5 figure to the downside. I think we are going to retest the levels, right? But as long as we are not going crazy above monthly open, that's very important, above this month high, that's where I think we have our supply somewhere around 24.50, 25. That's where the supply, I'm looking the downside, right? For me, it looks like pound may fall under own weight. What does it mean for me is that we already the doors to the downside being opened with that move, right? It was not only stop count. So that what I think, and we discussed, that's the move number one, and boom, continuation to the downside. What that means is that that was 152. That was the first wave to the downside was somewhere around 125 without the shadows. So we are talking about somewhere like 30 to the downside. So we are talking about the 0.9 on the cable as well. I know how it sounds. But once we are going to break and close below 120, of course the latest low 115, somewhere between 115 112, 109, 108, and then a possible parity, right? The things here on the cable, the things might change with the move and close above 35, in my opinion. All right, let's have a look what we have from the weekly chart perspective. All right, nice rally back, rejection, attempt to go lower. So that's the supply I've been talking about. That's what we have right here, and that's where market is reacting, right? There is a one more, and that's what we've seen a month ago when this cable went straight down, right? Again, situation is about to change with the monthly weekly close above 135. That's how I see. I'm looking downside, and I do have exposure. Don't forget, guys, that you can monitor what I'm doing. You can monitor my trades in real time. Link is in the description. And final one, dollar yen. So I'm bullish on dollar via euro. I'm bullish on dollar via pound, and only here on the dollar yen I'm bearish dollar, right? So I think that the retest of 100 might be in place, all right? The retest of the low. So what I'm gonna to look for? I'm going to look for retest the high again. I'm going to that's the monthly. So I'm going to look for selling opportunity if we are going to see retest of 111, all right, based on the monthly chart. Upper shadow, so supply, lower upper shadow, supply, and I do expect the same we are about to see here when it comes to the monthly chart, and with 100 as a target, right? So overall bullish on the dollar via euro and pound, bearish on the dollar via JPY, and we are going to get back and discuss every day from the shorter term perspective where the both sides are possible. Stay safe, stay home, good luck, see you around, guys, goodbye.